up, everyone? Hope we're all doing okay. Now, I was scrolling through Instagram as you do, and I came across Home of Fight, and they put out a post of fantasy matchups, and I thought it would be a good idea to go through each and every single one of these fantasy matchups that they've put together and predict who would win them. Now, to start off, they started with a prime 145 Conor McGregor against Ilia Topuria, again at 145. Now, who would win this one? Well, I actually did a video how I thought this fight would play out, but I'll just go over it quickly. I think Ilia Topuria wins this one. Yes, Conor McGregor can definitely win this one. He can find anyone's chin in his prime, had stupid power. However, I also think that McGregor got caught with a few shots as well. And I think Ilia Topuria would have been able to be good enough in order to not get clipped very early on and to really take it to Conor McGregor and get that finish, knockout finish in the second, maybe third round. I think that Ilia Topuria is just way too well-rounded for Conor McGregor. I think he has better fight IQ, and he also has a lot of power in his hands, and he's got good boxing as well. So I think he'll be able to knock out a prime Conor McGregor in the second or third round. I can understand if you think McGregor wins this one. You know, maybe he catches Ilia early. I completely understand it, but I think the safest option is to say that Ilia Topuria wins this one by a second or third round finish. Next up is Islam Makhachev taking on Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, this is a juicy one. I think that Islam Makhachev wins this one by a very, very razor-thin, close decision win. That's the only way I really see it. I don't think he finishes Khabib, and I don't think Khabib will be able to finish Islam Makhachev as well. I just think my reason for it is because Islam Makhachev is a lot more well-rounded. Now, how would he do against Khabib's pressure? That was his main weapon. He would really weaponize his pressure and, you know, just being relentless. I think Islam Makhachev will be able to stuff a lot of takedowns from Khabib. I think there could be moments as well where even he takes down Khabib. We never really saw Khabib against a great offensive grappler. Well, Islam Makhachev is just that. And on the feet, I think there's a big difference on the feet. I think Islam Makhachev is 10 times the striker that Khabib ever was. I don't think Khabib was awful on the feet, but again, I just think Islam Makhachev, you know, doing well against the likes of Volk, dropping Volk, knocking out Volk, dropping Charles Oliveira, you know, and having a lot of success against Dustin Poirier on the feet as well. I just think that on the feet he is a lot better, and I think him being more well-rounded really plays into him just getting that, you know, getting that edge over Khabib. I think he's able to get that win. Again, this is a hard one to call, but I think Islam Makhachev would get the win. Now we move on to the middleweight division between Anderson the Spider Silva and Alex Pereira. And again, this is a middleweight division, not the light heavyweight division, so he does tweak it just a tad bit. Now, prime for prime, oh my god, what an absolute fucking barn burner this would be. But in my opinion, I think Alex Pereira gets Anderson Silva out of there. Anderson Silva could definitely win this one. Both have great leg kicks. Anderson Silva was great in the clinch. I feel like he was a lot better on the inside compared to Alex Pereira. You know, using that clinch with his knees was absolutely brutal. Whereas Alex Pereira, I think is his boxing more crisp? I don't know. Well, he's definitely, maybe, even if he doesn't, he's always got that equalizer, which is that stupid power that he has. But again, because this is a middleweight division, his chin won't be the best. I feel like that's quite safe to say. We saw him get walled by Adesanya, and we saw him get knocked out by Adesanya in the middleweight division. That's where it makes it a bit more competitive, but I still think that Alex Pereira would find the chin of Anderson Silva. I think he'll chew at the leg, and maybe Anderson Silva would chew at the leg of Alex Pereira as well, but eventually I feel like Pereira will be able to find that chin relatively early on. I'm going to say in like the second round, he gets a classic left hook over Anderson Silva and puts him out cold, unfortunately. And now we remain in the middleweight division as we have a fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Yoel Romero. And the best way to describe this fight is an absolute fucking car crash. How other way could you know, describe this? Now, I made a video just saying how I would make like the greatest UFC card of all time, and it actually included this fight if I remember correctly, and there's a reason for it, because it would be fucking unbelievable. How would this fight play out? This one I'm really struggling with, guys. You know, Khamzat a great grappler, Yoel Romero a great grappler, but we're two sort of different grapplers. Yoel Romero wasn't really someone who would hold you down and inflict a lot of damage. He would take you down, but he wouldn't be the best at holding fighters down, whereas Khamzat Chimaev, he can hold you down and he's willing to inflict a lot of damage when he's got you down. But Yoel Romero was proven over 5 rounds. Yes, his cardio was a bit sus. You got the whole stool gate with Tim Kennedy and whatnot. However, he was more experienced doing 5 rounds, whereas Khamzat Chimaev, after a round and a half, his game plan kind of goes out the fucking bag. I mean, we saw it against Kamaru Usman, got that dominant first round, and then after that, not much really went on, whereas Yoel Romero is really, really dangerous for 5 rounds. I mean, you watch those fights against Robert Whittaker, and you know that in both fights, so I think this is a hard one. Could Khamzat get Yoel Romero out of it in the very first round? I don't know. I really don't know. I want to side with Khamzat Chimaev, but I think I might have to go with Yoel Romero on this one. I really do. I think he's got more of that dog in him. He's proved it by barking loads. He's got that experience. He's done 5 rounds before. He's got stupid power. He's very explosive. He's arguably better on the feet as well. I've got to go by Yoel Romero by 3rd, maybe 4th round knockout. I think he'll be able to find the chin as Khamzat Chimaev, especially when it gets later on in the fight and Khamzat Chimaev is starting to blow out of his arse. 3 in a row as we're staying in that middleweight division, and this time we have a prime Anderson Silva taking on a prime Chael Sonnen. And yes, he's undisputed, undefeated, and the greatest of all time, but no, really. How do I see this one going? I think Adesanya coasts to a decision victory with a few rounds where Chael Sonnen takes the nod on a few ones, maybe like a clear 48-47 going Adesanya's way, mainly because I'll be honest, I'm not gonna act like Chael was a bit before my time. I really got into MMA like 2014, so prime Chael is a bit before my time, and it's not like I've really gone out of my way to watch Chael Sonnen highlights or watch a load of his fights or anything like that. But how I've always viewed Chael, and I could be dead wrong on this one, this might be the worst one because again I'm not fully familiar with Chael's game, sorry, but I don't feel like he'll be the best at mixing it all in, whereas with Adesanya, he beat grapplers like Vettori who aren't anything special, but people who can mix in the grappling is where he's really struggled, like DDP and Jan Blachowicz, people who can strike but can also grapple as well. I don't know if Chael Sonnen is able to match the striking ability of Adesanya, or at least to a point where it's got him second guessing and, causing real issues. So I think that Adesanya will be able to get the victory here. Yes, I think that Chael would have some success when it comes to the grappling, but I also think that Adesanya would have some success defending some takedowns as well. So therefore, I go with quite maybe a lackluster decision victory for Israel Adesanya. And now we go all the way down to the flyweight division between Pantoja and Demetrius Johnson. Now, I would love to see this fight. Even right now, to be honest, I know DJ's no longer in his prime, but even still, I still think he's got a bit left in the tank, and I'd still love to see this fight because it would be a great one. And I think that Demetrius Johnson would win this one. I think most people side with that one. He's too well-rounded. His fight IQ is insane. I think he'll be able to nullify the pressure of Pantoja. I feel like that'll be the biggest problem for him, the work rate of Pantoja. He's a real dog, but we have seen it many a times where Pantoja, his cardio comes into question a bit because he goes at such a relentless and stupid pace. But I feel like DJ will be able to, he'll be able to take advantage of Pantoja potentially being gassed out and use that to his favor, and I just think he'll take advantage from it. I think on the feet he's better. I think grappling wise he'll be able to scramble out of a lot of situations. I don't think Pantoja will be able to keep Demetrius Johnson on the ground for very long if he was able to get any takedowns. I think that Demetrius Johnson will get a great victory over Pantoja and a decision victory. And last but not least, we have a welterweight fight between the two greatest welterweights of all time, Kamaru Usman and George St. Pierre, and I've always been on this hill. I think GSP wins this one. I do think it will be competitive though. Kamaru Usman's very well-rounded. GSP is very well-rounded. Not only that, they both have good cardio and they both have a lot of experience. I just think that GSP is more skilled and even more well-rounded than Kamaru Usman is. Kamaru Usman had great grappling, or wrestling should I say, and very good boxing as well. But GSP was much more than that, a lot more well-rounded than that. It was a lot more versatile on the feet and on the ground. And not only that, he had great success rate against other grapplers as well, like John Fitch, Josh Koscheck-wise, BJ Penn, Matt Hughes, Matt Serra in the rematch. So I feel like he had a lot of experience against strikers and grapplers who are much better than than Usman, sorry. And I think Usman again could get some success here, maybe nick the first round. But I think GSP, once he figures out Usman and how to break him down, I think he would do that. And I think he maybe wouldn't coast to a decision victory, but I do think he will get that decision victory, and I do think there'll be competitive rounds, but they're very clear-cut rounds for GSP. I've always believed that GSP would have beat a prime Kamaru Usman. There was a lot of talk about this many moons ago, but I feel like a lot of people are on the same wavelength that GSP would actually beat Kamaru Usman, and I'm one of those people. And that's who I believe would win all of those fancy matchups. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree with some of my outcomes? Do you disagree with me? Let me know what you think some of these fights will end up being like. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.